So today we're going to be talking about the Archie comics. Archie was a comic series started in the 60s up until now, and it's still going. And you might recognize the name Archie because it's the not main character, but it's one of the big characters in Riverdale, a TV show based off of the Archie universe. And let's just say that show's really fallen off.
騒がしい日々に笑えない君に思いつく限り眩しい明日を明けない夜に落ち
But if that's not all to convince you, let's talk about its adaptation from its source material of light-hearted teenage comic to crime lords and drug bosses and monsters. So yeah, let's get into it. The Archie comics have always held a special spot in my heart, and that's because I really loved them. I read my first Archie comic book maybe 10, 20 times before I got my second, and I've now at least read it 90 times. I love the Archie comics, and when I saw that, ooh, Riverdale, a show based off of the Archie universe, comes out soon, right? Oh, yeah, that's what I want. Yay, finally. But no, it's not, because the Archie comics are so much better than Riverdale, because Riverdale has one core problem: adapting its source material incorrectly. You may see lots of adaptations. Those video game adaptations that rarely go well, Resident Evil, or the other ones like Hunger Games, Harry Potter, from a book to movie. But that's what we're going for here, book to TV show. So to take the Archie comics and say something like, you can't adapt it, it's a comic. Like, it gives you such great parameters because the comics adapt themselves. Let me explain. The Archie comics have been adapting themselves and changing themselves for a long time, creating these new universes inside of them where you can have a character die in one, and then in the next comic that comes out, they're fine. And that's great on a literary basis. But all of these adaptations are slightly different. There are characters that exist in one and not in the other. But there's always three core principles to the in comic adaptations. So, what are they? Number one, first and foremost thing is getting the tone right. Shifting the tone can be done amazingly, like the Archie leaves saga, in which Archie leaves Riverdale, and the tone is shifted into a more dark and sad perspective. Or it can be shifted into less comedy but still pretty bright, like the band arc where their band's losing money, so they have to work hard. And it's not a comedy, but it's still chill. Adapting the feel or the tone of a work is important. Like in Hunger Games, how jarring would it be for someone who read the book The Hunger Games to go from random, like, just random Hunger Games, like, violence, like you'd see in the movies, to, oh, look, Katniss Everdeen playing Rainbow Princesses with the My Little Pony characters. You see what I mean? You don't want that. So, what do you want? When you're adapting an Archie tone, it has to be, or any tone for that matter, it has to fit within the source material. You have to have something to happen to make the characters feel a different way. If you wanted a light-hearted Hunger Games book, then you could say, okay, well, how can we make them happy? Well, after the parts of the Hunger Games that take place, Peeta and Katniss have a kid, and everything's going great, and everything's fine, and it just shows their daily life. That's great, and I think that's almost what they did at the end of the final book. But what Riverdale does is it takes random, like, character death. Cheryl Blossom's brother dying, and throws it into this world. Now, if that's what made everything dark, okay, that would have kind of worked. But they needed other things. So when you have all these characters being much darker portrayals of themselves, like Archie and Miss Grundy, and like all of that is a new portrayal of the issue of shifting the tone jarringly. Now, the second point for how to adapt an Archie comic or any comic is the characters. If you're adapting Archie, you need to have the characters fit their roles. I'm not saying that roles can't be shifted. Like, if they wanted to go for the gay best friend like they have Reggie do, make Jughead do it. He never really shows an interest in women, and he's not meant to be this Archie second hand. Like, he's not supposed to be Archie's rival with women. He's just supposed to be his friend. He doesn't really show any interest in women. That would have worked great. Instead, they make Reggie a literal gay stereotype. But just the fact that they called it out made it so much worse. Anyways, taking characters like Miss Grundy and turning her into a predator from the light, kind-hearted 60-year-old woman, or the Hiram Lodge becoming a drug lord mafia boss who is evil, when in the comics he's one of the cast's favorite characters because he's always so polite and nice. Just doesn't make sense. I think if you really wanted to shift the way the Archie characters were portrayed, you couldn't do so. But if you still wanted that Archie universe, you could have side characters. Number 3 is setting. You couldn't take Harry Potter and cut out the magic. Or you couldn't take Harry Potter and set it in America and then try to magically change it. Or you couldn't take Harry Potter and put it in space. Now, you could shift the tone of Hogwarts. Creating a nice, sleek, modern school would be kind of neat. But still wouldn't be the Harry Potter that people love. Instead, it would be this odd version that comes out in left field. And that's how I feel Riverdale was treated. Riverdale is always treated as this happy town where everyone gets along. Where, in fact, in Riverdale, it's treated as this, oh, I gotta get out of here. It's this dirty, old, useless town by Veronica at the beginning. And it's not really treated that great. Even Pop's Chocolate Shop, the center of most of the comics, is not as wholesome. It's used in promotional material that makes the show seem even more edgy. And the fact that the promotional material is edgy is fine, right? Cool, whatever. If the Hunger Games had shown Rue's death on the cover of the movie, people would have a bit of a backlash, but it would be understandable, creative license. But that's besides the point. This show misses everything that makes Riverdale Riverdale. And I think that's a huge issue. Yo, what up? This is Editor Me here. I just wanted to say I forgot to record an outro, so I'm gonna do that now. Thanks for watching. We're getting really close to 20 subs, so if you could subscribe, that would be amazing. Would really help me out. I am a smaller creator, like a tiny one, and it really lets me know what you guys want to see content-wise. Riverdale stands. Come at me in the comments. I'm ready to fight. So yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace out, gamers.